Hello, my loves, and welcome back to your final meditation Monday of our 30 Days of Yoga Benefiting St. Jude series. Today, we'll be starting with our Dharma talk concerning some things I've referenced a lot during the other videos, and we'll end with a meditation, one of my favorite techniques, which is called progressive muscle relaxation. For today's Dharma talk and meditation, you won't need any supplies other than yourself and somewhere comfortable to sit down or to lay down. Let's get started. So for today's Dharma talk, we'll be getting into two concepts that you've probably heard me refer to pretty regularly throughout all of our asana videos. So the first concept we'll talk about today is another one of those yamas. So if you go back to our last meditation Monday, we talked about the 8 different branches of yoga, and how there's one branch which is sort of moral codes in yoga. We talked about Ahimsa, nonviolence, showing love to ourselves and others through our thoughts. Today we'll talk about another very important concept, which I often refer to as non-attachment. So you've probably heard me say throughout these practices lots of things about we're practicing non-attachment with this pose, or non-attachment with our intention or this experience. So let's talk a little bit more about what non-attachment actually means. So non-attachment directly translates into the Sanskrit aparigraha. Aparigraha is another yama, just like Ahimsa, which means non-violence. Aparigraha is just another part of this moral code, but directly translates into non, to seize or grab on all sides. So parigraha in itself means taking everything from all around you, but the A at the beginning of the word means the opposite of that. So not trying to steal everything that's around you, just enjoying what you do have and enjoying the moment. So one of my favorite quotes about a parigraha, or non-attachment, comes from a book called the Bhagavad Gita. If you get really into yoga, at some point you'll probably read the Bhagavad Gita, but for today, all you need to know is this quote. Let your concern be with the action alone, and never with the fruits of the action. Do not let the results of your action be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction. So if you've ever been in a situation where maybe you did a favor for somebody because you were hoping that they would owe you one or see you in a different light, you will understand what this quote means. Now, I'm a human too. I've been in that situation of wanting to do things for others for some kind of ulterior motive or wanting to get something out of personal gain. But this teaching here from the Bhagavad Gita, this comes from Krishna, which is one of the Hindu gods, but whatever your religious background is, the quote and the wisdom stay the same. The idea is doing things just for the sake of doing them, not expecting any kind of results and not getting attached to any kind of results or even what the action might have cost you. If I want to give a gift to somebody, I give them a gift without expecting a gift in return, without even expecting a thank you. This quote also mentions the idea of do not be attached to inaction. So some days it can get easy for us to get dejected and just say, why even try? Nothing matters. Nothing ever comes out of anything I do. And our yoga teachers are giving us this concept of no, resist the urge to just give up and not act at all. Keep acting, but act for the sake of acting itself without worrying about what rewards it might bring to you later on. So let's talk a little bit about where we might see a parigraha, or non-attachment, in our daily lives. So we've talked about the example of giving someone a gift or doing them a favor, but what about in the areas of our lives that are more roles or relationships or titles that we hold? Sometimes we get really attached to the meaning of what it is to be a parent or to be a spouse or a teacher or whatever your job title might be. There's a lot of expectations and societal rules about what these roles are meant to look like, and we can get really attached to those roles and those rules, and this can often cause us suffering when we feel like we don't measure up or we're not doing it correctly or we're neurodivergent and we're just going to access it differently. Another example is on the yoga mat. Many people have been to a yoga studio and felt like, wow, everybody there was just so competitive. I felt like they were all kind of trying to see who could do the hardest pose and were looking around at each other. And once we get to that point in yoga, we've definitely lost the point of the practice. If a person goes to their yoga mat trying to do the most impressive or most difficult pose, whether they're trying to show off or prove something to themselves, they've lost the point of the yoga mat practice, which is to practice the poses just for the sake of practicing the poses and enjoying whatever journey comes up with it. And the last concept we'll talk about in this Dharma talk is another one that I reference frequently during our mat practices and our videos here. So this is the concept of effort and ease. In the original yogic Sanskrit, effort translates into the Sanskrit word satira, which directly translates into stability, intent, and strength, and often comes with the connotation of the idea to stand firmly rooted. This is associated with fiery motivation and also with the inhale, which is said to cause heat within the body and cause invigoration in the mind. So it's the idea of feeling really strong and like you're physically working hard in a pose. Your muscles feel tense and engaged, and you're feeling the heat of really engaging into a physical strength building posture. Whereas ease in the original yogic Sanskrit translates into sukha, which means comfort, ease, openness, or directly translates into the phrase good space. This also comes with the idea of recognizing when to chill, so the opposite of fire, time to calm it down, cool it down, and the idea of letting go, surrendering. This is also associated with the exhale or out breath, which is said to cause calming and more of a cooling energy in the body. So the idea of sukha or ease is that we become fully comfortable with ourselves, fully comfortable in the poses, and able to relax. So finding the balance between the two means that we first have our satira, our effort, causing us to really find the strength, the fire, the passion, the motivation in the pose. And once we're there, we sink into our sukha, where we're able to release any excessive tension, any attachments, and find deep relaxation in the pose, even while we're still engaging those muscles, building up that fire. The idea of sukha in its completeness is being fully aligned in a yoga pose, but without adding additional or unnecessary strain. I love this quote from one of my favorite yogis explaining the balance between satira and sukha, effort and ease. Finding the balance between satira and sukha is what is most necessary. The idea she presents is that we enter a pose with intention to be fully focused, to honor our bodies. We then fire up our muscles, readjust into a safe and effective alignment. Then we start to look for the breath, the present moment, and a comfortable release of whatever tension we're able to let go of. The idea of satira and sukha, effort and ease, ebbs and flows just like the breath does, just like the tides, the moon cycle, the earth cycle, and all planetary rotations. A big concept in yoga is that everything is aligned with things we see in nature and within the universe. If you feel inspired by this Dharma talk, I encourage you to think of some ways over the next week that you find yourself becoming attached to certain roles or ideas. Or do you perhaps notice yourself adding a little bit too much effort or a little bit too much ease into certain tasks? If you're lacking motivation, maybe you add a little effort. If you find yourself working too hard, pushing things and getting stressed out, maybe you encourage yourself to add a little bit of ease. All right, now that we've gone through our Dharma talk, it's time to get to our progressive muscle relaxation. So a little explanation before we start. I personally like to lie down for this meditation. It will involve squeezing into different muscle groups on purpose and pairing that with an inhale. So as we get to the exercise, I'll tell you to take a deep inhale and hold your breath. And while you do that, clench and squeeze into certain muscles so hard that you might even shake a little bit. You'll hold for a certain amount of time. And with your exhale, you'll release all the muscle tension as well, letting everything soften and relax. This is a great technique to do for helping with insomnia or for any kind of physical pain and tension in the body. It's deeply relaxing both for the muscles and for the nervous system. So I'll be providing the visual modeling of this meditation from a reclined position, but you're welcome to find any position that helps you feel comfortable. So finding your position, either lying down or seated upright. Start to settle in and find the deepest comfort you can within your space. If you're laying on the ground, I invite you to slowly snuggle your shoulders comfortably underneath you. Softly lift up your hips and reset your pelvic tilt to eliminate any low back pinching. And maybe shake your head no to relax through the back of your neck. If you're seated upright, place your hands somewhere comfortable. Squeeze your shoulders into your ears, then back and down. Maybe take a little neck circling to soften through the cervical spine. Wherever you are, start to blink your eyes closed. And take a deep inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Start to settle in. Start to draw a little more attention into your breath. Breathing in and out your nose or your mouth. Begin to notice what it feels like to breathe in your body today. Does your breath come shallow and rapid? Or does it come lengthy and deep with ease? Do you feel any places in the body where your breath seems to hitch or stop before it reaches greater depth? Do you feel yourself clenching anywhere in your body that you can start to soften, releasing under the weight of gravity alongside your exhales? Start to deepen your breath. Lengthening inhales, lengthening exhales. And with each inhale, see if you can drive your breath a little deeper into your low belly. Notice where you feel the most sensation of your breath. Do you feel your breath the most in your throat, your chest, your belly, perhaps your mouth, nose, or nostrils? Make each breath cycle just a millisecond longer than the last. Slowly begin to release any thoughts not related to the current experience. Time, start to bring some awareness into your lower body. Starting with the toes, maybe you give them a little wiggle. Point and flex into your feet and circle out your ankles. And draw some awareness up into your calves and shins, up through your knees and knee pits. All the way up into the thighs, both the hamstrings and the quads, up into the glutes and the pelvic bowl. Be fully aware and fully grounded into the lower half of your body. And slowly start to practice tensing into the lower half of your body. Practice curling your toes in towards the soles of your feet, either pointing or flexing your feet, squeezing into your calves, squeezing into your thighs, squeezing into your glutes, and even squeezing into the pelvic floor. Notice what it feels like to begin squeezing into these muscles and adjust as needed to access this space. Take a deep inhale through your nose and let it go out your mouth. We'll take 2 sets of our muscle squeeze and relaxation. So take a deep inhale, hold it at the top, and squeeze deep. Curl your toes in towards your feet, point or flex your feet, squeeze your calves, squeeze your thighs, squeeze your glutes, squeeze into your pelvic bowl. Squeeze, 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 tight as you can. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and exhale, release the breath. Release any muscular pressure. You might notice sort of a sense of almost hot and cold coming down your legs, or the sensation of a release. Just breathe and notice any differences, whether subtle or extreme. And let's take one more set within the legs. Take a deep inhale, even deeper than the last one, and hold it at the top. Pause here and squeeze. Curl your toes, flex or point your feet, squeeze your calves, squeeze your thighs, your glutes, your pelvic bowl. Squeeze even tighter than last time. Hold for 5, 4, 3, squeeze a little tighter, 2, 1, exhale, release it all. Take a few deep breaths here. Notice any sense of energy rushing down or a release within your legs. Breathe and let the echoes pass. Now the next section for our exercise will be the torso and the arms. So all the way through the upper half of the body without touching into the neck or the cranial or facial cavities. So start to draw some awareness up into your low belly, low back, mid belly, mid back, up into your pectorals and rib cage, into your shoulder blades and shoulder head, all the way up your lumbar and thoracic spine. And draw your awareness down your upper arms, the biceps and the triceps, down into your elbows, your elbow pits, forearms, all the way into the palms and all 10 fingers. If you'd like, you can start to practice squeezing into some of these muscles, curling your fingers up into fists, squeezing your shoulders up into your ears, tensing into your belly and squeezing your shoulder blades together. Fully engage, move and breathe within your torso and your arms. And in your time, we'll start to come into our 2 sets of the progressive muscle relaxation exercise. Take a deep inhale through your nose, hold at the top. Hold here, squeeze your hands into fists, curl in your arms, squeeze your shoulder up towards your ears, squeeze into your belly, squeeze your shoulder blades together, squeeze your chest, pull your shoulders up higher. Hold for 3, 2, 1, exhale, release it all. Notice any rushing sensations you have, any shifts in energy, and any sense of release along the muscles of your back, chest, arms, and abdomen. Getting ready for our second set. Take another even deeper inhale, deepest one you've taken so far. And start to squeeze. Curl your hands into fists, curl your wrists, curl your elbows, squeeze your shoulders into your ears, tense your belly, tense your chest, squeeze your shoulders together. Squeeze tight, tight, tight. Hold for 5, 4, 3, squeeze even tighter, 2, 1, exhale, release. Take a few deep breaths as you notice the shifts in energy and any sense of release, whether it's physical, emotional, or both. Some really excellent yoga and medical science has recently proven that unprocessed emotions and trauma live deep within the muscle tissue and the nervous system. So this practice can also be really helpful in releasing some of those old, unprocessed feelings. Breathe them out and let them pass. And finally, coming into the last of our 3 sections. This one is a sneaky section. It's the facial muscles. Most people carry a lot of unrecognized tension within their face and, of course, the neck. I'm seated upright if you'd like a visual example. So start just by breathing and noticing your throat, the back of your neck, the back of your head, wrapping all the way up into your ears and earlobes, top of your head, into your hair follicles, and coming into your forehead, the third eye space between your eyebrows, your temples, eyelids, eyelashes, cheekbones, nose, into the cupid's bow and the lips, all the way down into your chin, your jawline, your cheeks. Just notice how all of these things feel and see if you can start to notice a little bit of that sneaky tension. Maybe swallow to soften into your throat. And start to play around with squeezing into the neck and facial muscles. So you can try pulling your chest in and down, almost like you're trying to pull your neck into a turtle shell. Pucker your lips like you're sucking on a sour lemon, and squeeze your cheeks in using your teeth. Close your eyes really hard and really tight, knit your brows together, knit into your forehead. Sometimes I pull my head down so hard I can even feel it vibrate a little bit. Let's start with the first of our set. Take a deep inhale and hold at the top. Pause there, then start to pucker up your lips, suck in your cheeks, squeeze your eyes really hard, knit your brows, pull your chin down, squeeze, 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 tight, tight, tight. Hold for 3, 2, 1, exhale, release. Notice any new sensations you feel within your face, any rushes of energy or releases. And let's find our second set. Take another deeper inhale, the deepest inhale you've taken in this whole practice and your whole day. Take a tiny extra sip of air at the top. Then find your engagement. Squeeze your chin down, pucker your lips, pucker your cheeks, close your eyes hard, knit your brows, knit your forehead. Pull, squeeze, tight, tight, tight. Hold for 5, 4, 3, squeeze a little tighter, 2, 1, and release. Breathe into any release you felt within the face, head, and neck. And notice what changes you can feel all along your body and throughout your current energy and vibration. Maybe you feel a new sense of physical release, relaxation, or even feeling a little tired. Or you might feel something else completely different. Take one more deep inhale through your nose. Let it go out your mouth. In your time, slowly start to blink your eyes open and come back into your space. The light and the goodness in me sees and bows to the light and the goodness in you. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. Go in peace. Namaste. See you tomorrow.